Hello there, I'm Declan Trainer, and you're very welcome to episode 4 of the Virginia Roundup. And coming up on this month's episode, Gary Brazil will be talking to us about losing weight and getting fit. Also, we have a new wellness feature called the 2-Minute Reset, and Gabriel Higgins will be talking to us about the Ballyjamesduff chapter of an organisation called While No One's Watching. All this, and of course, we'll let you know what's happening in and around Virginia on the community notice board. And don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us here at the Virginia Roundup, our email address is thevirginiaroundup@gmail.com. You can send us a voice note at speakpipe.com/the Virginia Roundup, or you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/the Virginia Roundup. But let's get this month's episode of the Virginia Roundup underway as we join Gary Brazil, who's offering advice when you're doing everything right, but you're still not losing weight.
Hello again, I'm Gary Brazil, owner of Gary Brazil Age Defy Fitness and personal trainer at SG Elite Gym in Cross. Now, in the last couple of podcasts, I talked about how, if you want to lose weight, how you figure out your daily calorie needs and how to create a calorie deficit without starving yourself. And I also spoke about how walking helps with your weight loss efforts. So today I'm going to discuss, what have you been doing all this? What have you been tracking your calories, watching what you eat, walking every day, and the scales still haven't moved? Because let me tell you something, being in a calorie deficit on paper and actually being in a calorie deficit in real life are two very different things. Today I'm breaking down the real reasons people don't lose weight, even when they think they're doing everything right. And trust me, I've seen all, and I've done a few of them myself over the years. So let's start with the big one. Underestimating your food intake. You might think you're taking in 1,800 calories a day, but the truth is the average person underreports calories by up to 40%. Now that's a massive difference if you want to lose weight. And it's not always intentional. It's the sneaky stuff. A splash of milk in your coffee, olive oil when cooking, maybe a handful of nuts that you don't even think about eating, or maybe finishing off your kid's dinner. It all adds up. I had a client once who swore blind she was eating 1,500 calories a day. But we went through our week, our food log, and what happened was, with the sauces, the snacks, the drinks that she wasn't logging, it turned out her calories each day were around 2,400. So the takeaway with this is to be honest with yourself. Track everything for one solid week. And I mean everything. You'll be shocked at what shows up. Now here's another big one, the weekend sabotage. We're all guilty of this. You're nailing it Monday to Friday, you're doing really well, eating clean, you're going out getting your walks, then Friday night hits. Sure, I'll just have a few drinks and a takeaway, I deserve it, I've been good all week. Before you know it, that cheat meal turns into a 4,000 calorie weekend binge, because if you've a few drinks on you and you're a bit hungover, you're craving sugary food, and all that good work that you've done during the week just goes out the window. Look, I'm not saying you can't have a life. I love me weekends too, but you've got to be mindful. One bad weekend can actually wipe out about 5 good days of work. So the fix is plan for that. If you know you're going to be going out, going for a few drinks, save some of the calories through the week if you know that you're going out, so don't wing it. Now, the next one that a lot of people ignore is your lifestyle factors. You can eat really well, doing your walk, and maybe you're going to the gym as well. But if you're not sleeping and you're stressed out of your head with work, maybe family issues, wherever it is, and we all have them, and then you start to rely on alcohol to unwind, your body's in no mood to burn fat. Cortisol, your stress hormone, goes through the roof. Your hunger hormones go mad and you start craving them high-calorie foods. I know when I used to drink and I'd be hungover, I'd be craving battered sausages and chips and curry sauce. So do you ever notice after a crap night's sleep that you want toast, crisps, sugar? That's not a lack of willpower. That's your hormones trying to survive. So before you blame your metabolism, fix your sleep, reduce the stress, and cut down on the midweek wine. That's where the real fat loss starts. Now, if your only form of exercise is walking or cardio, which is great, we talked about that in the last podcast, there is other things that you're missing that you could add in to help you lose your weight. Strength training is a real fat loss accelerator, and especially as we get older. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. It burns calories even when you're sitting on the couch watching Netflix. Apologies for the mispronunciation of that word. When you diet without resistance training, you lose muscle. Your metabolism slows and fat loss gets harder. That's why the people that come to me in the gym, they lift. Not to get huge or anything like that, but to keep their engine running strong. So we'll talk about the weighing scales. Lots of people have a love-hate relationship with that. Because you jump on, you see the number, and it's the same as last week, and suddenly you think, what the hell am I doing? What's the point in all this? Nothing's changing. But here's the truth. Your body weight can fluctuate by up to 2 to 3 kilometers, or kilograms rather, daily from water, salt, carbs, or hormones. Fat loss is slow, steady, and it's rarely linear. You might be losing fat, but gaining muscle, or holding water. That's why I tell clients to track progress using photos, measurements, and how clothes fit. Don't just rely on the number on the scale. So an idea would be for you, say for any ladies listening, maybe there's a dress that you have in your wardrobe and maybe it doesn't fit quite well and you'd love to fit into it. It's stuff like that, try it on maybe every couple of weeks and you will notice that it's fitting differently. So rather than just relying on the scales, go with visuals as well, photos, some dress or a top that you'd like to wear. Same for men. Maybe there's a pair of jeans that are just quite that bit too tight in you and you're struggling to close the top button. Try them on every few weeks and see how you're going. Another great indicator. Now, consistency beats perfection. It's a marathon, not a sprint. They're words that I use in the gym floor all the time with clients. Because most people fail because they want fast results. They do everything perfectly for about 2 weeks. They're really enthusiastic. But then they stop when the scale doesn't move fast enough. But you didn't gain the weight that you have or the weight that you want to lose over 4 weeks. So you're not going to fix it in 4 weeks. It is going to take time. The ones who win are the ones who show up, even on the crap days. They walk when it's raining. They eat well most of the time. Maybe not all the time, but they keep going. Progress can be boring, but it's bloody worth it. And I know only too well from my own experience. So if you've been frustrated lately, thinking you're in a calorie deficit, but the scales aren't moving, step back and have a look at the bigger picture. It's not your age. It's not your metabolism. It's usually small daily habits that are keeping you stuck. Start tracking what you eat properly. Sleep more if you can. Lift weights if you can as well. Even just getting a set of dumbbells or kettlebells at home, it doesn't have to be anything expensive. You can go into a supermarket. They often have deals on. Even you can get sort of like resistance bands. They're quite cheap. And for God's sake, stop writing off the weekend like it doesn't count. It's another day. So if you want help cutting through the confusion and finally losing the weight for good, well, that's what I do. And that's why I'm doing this podcast, trying to help people. But if you want some more direct personal information or guidance, drop me a message on Instagram, Gary Brazil, Age Defy Fitness, or email me at adfireland@gmail.com, or even send an email to the Virginia podcast if there's any ideas that you'd like me to talk about in future podcasts. Have a great day, and I'll chat soon.
The Virginia Roundup.
Hey, thanks for that, Gary. And as Gary said, if there's any topics that you'd like Gary to cover on future episodes of the Virginia Roundup, you can email us here at virginiaroundup@gmail.com or send us a message on Facebook, facebook.com/the Virginia Roundup. Okay, it's time for our new wellness feature. This is the 2-minute reset.
The 2-minute reset on the Virginia Roundup.
Thank you, Declan. As the days grow shorter and the light begins to fade, many people notice a shift, not only in the weather, but also in their mood. For some, this shift is more than just winter blues. It's a real, recognised condition called seasonal affective disorder, SAD, often referred to as seasonal depression. SAD is most common in autumn and winter when reduced daylight can disrupt our internal rhythms. Symptoms can include low mood or persistent sadness, tiredness and low energy, difficulty concentrating, changes in sleep or appetite, and loss of interest in things you usually enjoy. It's important to remember you're not lazy and you're not imagining it. Seasonal depression is a genuine mental health challenge and it deserves compassion and care. Some ways that can help ease the weight include light exposure. Spending time outdoors in natural light, even on cloudy days, can make a difference. Routine, keeping a steady sleep and meal schedule, supports your body's internal clock. Movement, gentle exercise, even a walk, can lift mood and energy levels. Connection, reaching out to friends, family or supportive groups helps ease the sense of isolation. Most of all, be gentle with yourself. If your mood feels heavier as the seasons change, know that you're not alone and that support is available. Just as the darker months eventually give way to spring, there is hope and light ahead. I'm Michelle and I'll be back next month on the Virginia Roundup.
The 2-minute reset on the Virginia Roundup.
Many thanks for that, Michelle. And as Michelle said, she'll be back next month here on the Virginia Roundup.
You can listen to all of the previous episodes of the Virginia Roundup wherever you get your podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Audible, and at thevirginiaroundup.podbean.com.
Today we're faced with a massive issue, not only in Ireland but worldwide, which is the mental, physical and emotional health crisis facing men globally. Worldwide, 60 men take their lives every hour, and it can be hard for men to take off their so-called body armour and be truly vulnerable. Now, our guest today is part of a global movement working to change that. They're helping men connect, share and support each other every week through their Sunrise Clubs. Born from two Irish friends in Australia looking out for each other, this organisation is challenging toxic masculinity and proving that it's okay for men to celebrate emotional vulnerability. They're making a difference and they're working towards a goal of reaching 1 million men worldwide. I'm delighted to have Gabriel Higgins with us from the Cavan chapter of When No One's Watching. Hello there, thanks for joining us on the Virginia Roundup.
Thanks very much, Declan. Appreciate it.
So tell us, although you have the Cavan chapter, this organisation was developed in Australia, and it was actually two Irishmen who founded this organisation.
Yeah, that's correct. So David Eccles and Ty Kennelly. So David's from Tyrone and Ty is from Kerry. I'm sure a lot of listeners would know his name, and as a Kerry famous footballer and a Sydney Swans player. And it arose through COVID with the two of them. Effectively, Ty had lost his position with Sydney Swans and put him in a serious rush, I suppose. He was out, couldn't leave his house for about 6 weeks. And David, even though he was in a lot of groups in his local area, they both just felt isolation and always effectively said to each other that men, they go to the pub, they go and have their pints and they have a chat, but they really don't have a chat. It's kind of, they never get to, I suppose, root causes of any of their kind of situations. So effectively the two of them got together and says, why don't we do what women do and go to a cafe, have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and we just unload on each other for half an hour. We discuss everything and anything that's going on in our lives. And from that, When No One Is Watching was born. So it's a great initiative by the two of them. There is a chapter lead in Longford, where I'm originally from. Michael Quinn is the fellow that runs that. So I know Michael years. So just watching him for the past year, growing what he's doing. He's about 24 men now coming regularly on a Friday morning at about 6:30 to 7:30. The idea is to meet up. We do a light bit of exercise, maybe 30 minutes. Then at about 6:30 we pause, and just as you were saying about the 60 men, every 60 minutes we pause and we do an exercise for 60 seconds. So whether it's 60 push-ups or it depends on, I suppose, the capabilities of the men that you're working with. We actually do a plank because some men have back issues, so they prefer just to be in a normal position for 60 seconds rather than up and down. So it's good in a way. It's positive to talk about that and stop the session for a minute and discuss, and then the session runs for another 5-6 minutes. And then we either go for a cup of coffee and have a chat, or we can have a chat for 10 or 15 minutes and then go for a cup of coffee.
And I suppose, as you're saying, because Tig and Dave would both have kind of sporting backgrounds, or sports would have played a big part in their life, it is kind of focused on exercise, but it's at the pace and at the rate that somebody can cope with. It's nothing too strenuous, so you don't have to do more than you feel you're able to do. No,
absolutely not. Your capabilities are really what you present. If you come and say you've got any issues, or you want to train on something specifically, that's the idea as well. I have a background in gym management and gyms. I have a gym circuit as well, so I have the capabilities of constructing exercises for people if they need it. Yeah, so that it really is though at your own pace, whether you're comfortable, and really if it's something that this thinks that you might be interested in doing, you need zero. You need to have done zero exercise ever previously. Just come, I would say, and just see what it's about, and you lose nothing from it, but hopefully you gain lots from it.
Mm-hmm. And I went to see last year, I think it was, it might have been earlier this year. I went to see the comedian Paddy McGuinness in Dublin. And I never realised that when he was offered the gig of Top Gear, he was suffering from depression. He spoke about that at his gig. And he made a comment which is very, very true, that when it comes to depression, women have one big advantage over men, and that's their mouths, because they talk to each other, they share. And men, as you say, they go to the pub and they talk about politics, they talk about whatever else is going on in the world, but they don't talk about themselves.
No, I hadn't heard that about Paddy McGuinness, but that couldn't be more true than anything. And obviously women do suffer with depression too. This is not just about pushing an men's agenda, obviously. But yeah, it's harder for men to speak about their feelings, because we're seeing that in statistics all globally, not just here in Ireland, that men's suicide rates are absolutely off the charts compared to women's. And it's so unfortunate. And it's not that either should be looked at in basically disregarding the women's statistics, but really it seems that men need help more. It just seems that way. And I don't know whether it's this, as you said, drop the body armor that would just like, we'll survive or we'll get through it or whatever. But the thing is, a lot of these men aren't getting through it. They're not surviving the crisis moments they're having. Yeah,
and whether it's, as you say, because men are typically deemed to be strong and they don't want to show their vulnerable side, and that's all about what When No One's Watching is about, because it's to break down that myth or that cliche that men are supposed to be strong and shouldn't be sharing. And I suppose even we were talking before we started the interview about, about sharing things. Maybe some people might share small things, but something that might seem small or trivial to someone else could be, for somebody, it could be eating them up and a big issue.
Hugely. Like, I'll just touch on a point. Like, the people might say, why did that man decide that he wanted to bring it to this area? So I lost my father to suicide, and I was only 13. I'm the youngest of 10 children. We had a really tough time processing that and getting to this stage. So where I'm now, obviously very acceptance of it. I've moved on. Fortunately, that obviously my dad has, I took that decision at that time for different reasons. It happened, but I'm so much more stronger as a person now after going through all the grief stages, going and seeking professional help myself. I'm not ashamed to admit that, and I think that's the big thing I'm trying to push as well. Is you don't feel ashamed by reaching out to somebody, because they genuinely want to give you the best help and support that you can get off them. And I think that's a reason why I really think that this whole area of mental health, it just needs to be kind of grasped, and I suppose it should always be on the forefront of people's minds, that support and asking somebody. I was doing a presentation at work last week, and I was just saying, I think like the many times you walk through your office space and you might say hello to the people like that you work with daily, but you wouldn't say hello to the person that, you might see them once a week, and you might just walk past them. I think that's important. What I'm trying to do now is every person I meet is, how are you? Even if it's on the street, how are you? Just simple. I think that's a great thing as well. I think it's just add something fresh to your day that maybe, because I would have walked around with my head down a lot of the time as well. So I've trying to be stronger for myself, trying to be stronger for my family. I've got 3 kids now and 2 young boys under 2 and 3. So life is hectic, but thoroughly enjoyable about trying to bring this mental health into a really localized area. But because we've had a lot of losses in the surrounding areas of Virginia, Ballyjamesduff, Den, especially in the last few years. And I think it's really important that we keep pushing this to the forefront of people's minds.
And a lot of, unfortunately, of suicides have been with younger people as well, which is, you kind of wouldn't maybe think that people have those kinds of concerns, but you don't know what's going on inside people's heads.
No, that's absolutely true. Like the 15 to 29 is the statistics of young people that, unfortunately, for whatever reason it is, obviously we don't have answers for them kind of things unless you really know the situation. You don't know. So it shouldn't cast aspersions on anybody's situation, because, as I say, it happened on my own doorstep. And I still can't tell you why, unfortunately, my father took his life, because we didn't get left anything. So we were left with a lot of whys. But as I say, with a bit of time and a bit of, obviously speaking to a professional, you get certain, I suppose, perspective on the situation that he found himself in. I suppose you'll never know the answers, but I suppose they say time heals, but it doesn't really heal. It just makes things a little bit more bearable. Yes, absolutely.
And I suppose also, I mean, people could on the outside seem normal. I mean, people often say that, if somebody takes their life, I was talking to him last week, he seemed fine, but again, you don't know what's going on the inside.
Absolutely couldn't be more true. The amount of people that I've heard, and since I've set up a few things and talked to, it's like, my Johnny was good, or whatever, like up until a day ago, I just can't understand it. I'm like, it's just hidden. Like, there's just hidden beneath layers of the emotions of a person. Some people are better at showing their emotions. Some people just obviously blank it down over their face. And unfortunately, they just come to a point where it's a crisis point in their life, and they either think there's no support for them, or they just can't go on. And unfortunately, suicide is where they turn to.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned there about, like, you make an effort to say hello to everyone you pass in the street, and sometimes that can make a difference, because it can make you feel better, and that person, you don't know what's going on in their life. And I know it's happened once or twice when I think we're in the shop, myself and my wife, and the person behind the counter just didn't seem in great form, and they seemed stressed, and my wife struck up a conversation with her, and by the end of it, the woman was smiling, and I think my wife too was kind of felt a bit happier as well. Like you went in, sometimes you take for granted, you say, oh, that person's a right old grump, but they have their problems, and if you can make their day a little bit brighter, even for a couple of moments, it makes a big difference.
Oh, agreed, yeah.
And I suppose that's what this organisation is about. You say after you do that bit of training, you usually go for a cup of coffee and a chat.
Yeah.
And if you want to share, you can. If you don't, that's no problem either.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's up to the person if they want to share. Like obviously I shared my story because I'm comfortable to talk about it. And I think it's a good way of just kind of introducing myself into the area also. So I just think, so people can come and share. It doesn't have to be obviously as, it doesn't always have to be about debt, or it doesn't have to be, it could be a positive for them. If they bought a new car, why wouldn't you share something like you bought a new house, or you have to have a new child in the family? Something positive as well to the group would always
And even if it's, as I say, it doesn't have to be about the depression or death. As you say, it could be something, a problem you're having at work, a problem you're having at home, or even the problem you're having with your car, or whatever it might be.
Exactly.
But something that causes you maybe stress, or something that you're lying awake at night thinking about. It doesn't have to be a massive thing, but to you, as mentioned earlier, to you it could be a big issue, a big problem. It was a trouble shared is a trouble halved, just to say.
Correct.
Yeah. So when and where do you meet?
Yeah, so it's 6:00 a.m. on a Wednesday morning.
An early start.
Very early start. It's in Brian Coleman's Fitness in Ballyjamesduff. It's out the Rassin Road. And
I have an air code here, which is A82EPR8, and we'll put that up on our Facebook page as well if anyone needs that air code. So you meet for about an hour, is it? Yeah, roughly an hour. So we start roughly around 6, exercise to about 20 to 7. And then immediately we'll pack up from the gym and we'll go for a coffee, and then we'll have at least 20 minutes to talk about everything and anything. And it's up to men how long they want to stay, because we go to Skelly's filling station, and they have a coffee there to sit down and have a cup of coffee, and we can just have a general chat about anything. Yeah, so I'll say, even if you don't have anything on your mind, you can it's still a social outlet, because absolutely, it's a great for people maybe who are alone and maybe don't mix that much, or don't get a chance to mix that much. It's also a social outlet as well. It's not just about mental health and that kind of thing. Yeah, 100%. If men are listening to this and saying, "Oh God, I'd like to do that, but maybe not the exercise part," if you want to come and just do either 20 minutes on we've stationary bikes there, there's rowers, you can walk around the gym if you want for a half an hour, just something, you don't have to come and do the exact same workout as all of us. It's just about exactly that. It's about getting out and socialising, getting out a bit of, if you're in isolation or something like that, something that might just say, okay, that sounds like something that would be good for me. I'd highly encourage it. Yeah, and there's nobody will judge you or anything like that. No judgment at all. Anything you share as well would be strict, confidential. Yeah. If I ever found out that somebody was sharing somebody's stories, I just wouldn't ask. I'd ask not to come back to the session. Yeah. Definitely. And even, as you say, even if somebody just wants to come along once, just to see, to meet absolutely. Up. Come and try it. Why not? You've absolutely nothing to lose, as I say, but you'll have a lot to gain by coming. And do people need to contact you beforehand in order to come along? No, if they show up. But if they want to contact me, I think we'll stick my mobile number up. I don't mind giving out any over. So 087 218 9517. Perfect. And give me a call absolutely at any time. And if I miss your call, I'll give you a call back or text. No problem. And also, there's another organisation you're involved in called Beam, which you'd like to mention as well. Yeah, just quickly, because it doesn't go hand in hand. But I'm trying to set up. I have set it up, and we had our second meeting there Wednesday night. So Beam, it's Ballyjamesduff, empathy and mindfulness. It's a kind of a suicide support group for people who've been bereaved by suicide or kind of been impacted by suicide. So on Wednesday the 5th of November will be the next session in St. Joseph's Hall in Ballyjamesduff, and it'll run from about 8 to maybe 9:30. And it's not a therapy group. It is where some people just come in who have experience of suicide and want to discuss it and want to chat about it and just remember their loved ones. As I said, so that's the main reason why I've done it. And so Wednesday the 5th of November at 8 p.m. will be the next. So it's kind of an informal. Very informal. Yeah, it's just really about sharing experiences. I don't give any training or guidance. I just share my experience, and people can share their experience as well. And again, if anyone wants to get in touch with you on that, it's 087 218 9517. Great. Yeah, perfect. Gabriel Higgins from When No One's Watching and from Beam, thanks for coming in and joining us on the Virginia Roundup. Thanks very much, Declan. Cheers.
The Virginia Roundup.
And if you want to get in touch with Gabriel, either in relation to When No One's Watching or Ballyjamesduff, empathy and mindfulness, you can contact Gabriel on 087 218 9517. As Gabriel said there, If he's unable to take your call, if you leave a message or send him a text, he will reply to you. And don't forget that if you've been affected by suicide, help is at hand. Pieta operate a free phone at 1-800-247-247, or you can text help to 51444. The Samaritans can be contacted on free phone 116123, or you can email joe@samaritans.ie. And Text About It is a free 24-hour chat service. It provides everything from a calming chat to immediate support for people going through a mental health or emotional crisis. And to contact them, you can free text hello to 50808. And you'll find more information in relation to mental health issues on the HSE's website at www.hse.ie/mental-health. Okay, it's time now to see what's happening in and around Virginia on the Community Notice Board. NeuroGarden is a group that meets once monthly in Virginia Library for neurodiverse people who are over 18 years of age. Its aim is to connect young adults in a social setting to form new friendships and fulfill a service that is desperately needed for those who are neurodiverse and feel isolated from their community. They meet on the first Thursday of the month in Virginia Library from 6 to 8 p.m. Deer Park Forest Park Run Virginia is a free, fun and friendly weekly 5K community event. Walk, jog, run, volunteer or spectate. It's up to you. They meet every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. The event takes place at Deer Park Forest Park, the entrance by Virginia Rugby Club off the R194 A82 YV02. It's free, but please register before you first come along, and don't forget to bring a scannable copy of your barcode. It's entirely organised by volunteers, and if you'd like to volunteer, you can email deerparkforest@parkrun.com to help. The second-hand shop at Virginia Shopping Centre offers a wide range of clothes, jewellery, footwear, books, bric-a-brac and much more. And by shopping at the second-hand shop, you'll also be supporting So Sad Cavan. Shop Till You Drop is a thrifted and pre-loved clothes pop-up taking place at Cavan Town Hall on October 23rd from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Join us for a day of sustainable fashion fun, discover unique pre-loved finds, refresh your wardrobe and help reduce fashion waste, all without spending a fortune. You expect a treasure trove of thrifted and pre-loved clothing curated by local youth groups, a styling talk by Wild Wardrobe, and a chance to embrace eco-friendly fashion and shop more sustainably. That's Shop Till You Drop thrifted and pre-loved clothes pop-up. You can get tickets on Eventbrite. And the Rural Hub is delighted to continue their Wellness Wednesdays, a series of free, creative and mindful workshops to help you relax, recharge and embrace the cosy season ahead. That's every Wednesday between now and the 3rd of December from 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the Rural Hub in Virginia. Spaces are limited, so please register for free by emailing info@ruralhub.ie or calling 085 862 7260. And the Rural Hub also presents neon painting with a dream centre. Step into the dark and let your creativity shine. Join us for a neon painting class just for teens with bold colours, great music and all the creative vibes. That's on the 30th of October from 2:30 to 4 p.m. and also 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Rural Hub in Virginia. Please register now for your preferred time by email to info@ruralhub.ie or call 085 862 7260. Don't miss this glowing good time. And don't forget, if you've got an upcoming charity or community event that you'd like mentioned on the community notice board here on the Virginia Roundup, you can email the details along with your contact details to the virginiaroundup@gmail.com. And that's all we have time for on this month's edition of the Virginia Roundup. As we mentioned, if you want to contact us about anything at all, including suggestions for topics to be covered on future episodes of the Virginia Roundup, you can email us at the virginiaroundup@gmail.com. And of course, as always, we ask you to spread the word about the Virginia Roundup and like and subscribe to our socials as well. But until the 15th of November, this is Declan Traynor saying goodbye for now.